going on.
Thank you so much.
Pay like $1 million.
Shout out TMZ, you up?
Let me check out that rig.
TMZ stands for the Mayweather Zone.
How'd you find me, bro? I got my disguise on.
I love my TMZ family.
Welcome to TMZ Sports. I'm Mike Babcock with my guy, as always, Mojo Muhtadi. Mojo, big week this week because one of the most expensive and star-studded weddings ever is going down in Italy. Of course, these are the nuptials between those two right there. Jeff Bezos, one of the richest men in the world, and his soon-to-be wife, Lauren Sanchez, Mojo. And as you would expect, when you have two people like this who are, again, so insanely wealthy and also famous, you knew the guest list, Mojo, was going to be just A-list star and A-list star after another. And that's exactly what we have here, Mojo. So we have been doing a lot of reporting on this, and we now have some of the people, Mojo, who are going to be attending the wedding. We broke the story a little bit earlier today. None other than Tom Brady, Mojo. Tom Brady will be at the wedding. We have been told he is actually jumping on a private jet. I mean, how else did you expect him to fly? He's jumping on the PJ, Mojo, with Alex Spiro, the famed defense attorney, a defense attorney who has represented everyone from Jay-Z on down. They're flying over to Italy together, to Venice, where the wedding is going down this week. Mojo, it's not just the who's who of athletes. By the way, Tony Gonzalez will be there, Hall of Famer, of course, who was with Lauren Sanchez about 2 decades ago, and they have remained friends, a close relationship. They go on vacation together. They share a son together. They are still close. He will actually be there. And Mojo, you go on down then. We're talking about names like Leonardo DiCaprio, Orlando Bloom, billionaire, producer, entertainment giant, however you want to describe him, David Geffen, and again, on and on and on, Mojo. This is the hottest ticket in the world right now. And yeah, you pretty much got to be an A-lister to be at this wedding.
Well, that's why you got your invite, right?
Oh, I'm heading over.
I got my invite. I mean, we're going to be taking our private jet over there too, because you got to think with a wedding that, and my sources tell me this, Babcock, that it's going to cost the couple $50,000 a guest for this wedding.
Mojo, I was about to say, well, $50,000. Okay, that is an expensive wedding, but that's reasonable. You said $50,000 a head.
50,000 a head, not a couple. I can't make my sources public. It's definitely not the TMZsports.com website. Of course, that wouldn't be it. But, this is crazy. I mean, first of all, is anyone not flying private to this thing? You said Tom Brady's flying private, of course. I mean, who is going to this wedding that's going to be flying commercial? I mean, is there even anyone flying commercial and in a coach seat to this wedding?
No.
All the way to Venice for Bezos's freaking wedding. I don't know what that's going to look like, but obviously this is going to be a big time wedding. Can't wait to see what comes out of this, but I mean, it's going to be some heavy hitters and some players at this thing. Again, $50,000 a head. Yeah, they're breaking the bank on this one. If $50,000 a head even dents that guy's wallet, considering how much money he has. But obviously, you got to swing for the fences. They got a reputation to uphold. Yeah. A lot of star-studded athletes. Tony Gonzalez coming. Normally exes go into your next wedding is maybe a weird thing, but when you share a child, that conversation goes way out the window. So I think at this point, everyone's happy. They've been hanging out together. Everybody's buddy, no issues there. This is going to be crazy. Yeah, Mojo, to your point, it doesn't. I don't even know, $10 million or so. There are going to be about 200 people at the wedding. He doesn't even know that that's gone. I mean, the guy's worth like $250 billion, give or take. So it's insane how much money that he actually has. Mojo, they were hanging out just a couple of days before the wedding on his 400-foot yacht, which is one of the biggest in the world. So, I mean, the wealth that Jeff Bezos and Lauren Sanchez have, it's mind-blowing. You talked about the level of guests who are going to be at this party, Mojo, and now some of these people are bachelors, by the way. I mean,
including, of course, Tom Brady. He is no longer married. Orlando Bloom, we said he was going to be there. He has split from his partner, Katy Perry. Mojo, we did a poll on the TMZ and the TMZ Sports website. Who was the more eligible bachelor at the party? Is it Tom Brady or is it Orlando Bloom? First of all, what's your answer, Mojo, before we show you the results?
Dude, this is the no-brainer. Of course it's Tom Brady. What are we talking about right now?
Okay, let's go Tom Brady. Let's see the number that we get here. Mojo, if that's not fate, I don't know what.
What is that number, Babcock?
69% for Tom Brady, 31% for Orlando Bloom. Coming up next on TMZ Sports, Aaron Rodgers finally opens up about his marriage. Wait until you hear what the four-time NFL MVP has to say. Mojo, everybody still trying to figure out what's going on with Aaron Rodgers' personal life. You remember a couple of weeks ago as he met with the media for the first time in Pittsburgh after he signed that one-year deal with the Steelers, he revealed that he was in fact married, said he had been married for a couple of months, but he stopped there, Mojo. He didn't give much information, and by not much, I mean he didn't give any information about who his wife was. So, Mojo, a little bit earlier today when Aaron Rodgers hopped on the Pat McAfee show, of course he has made very famous, very well-watched performances on Pat McAfee's show on ESPN. The topic of conversation turned to Aaron's love life. And Mojo, I hesitate to say that he's giving more information here. Let's say that he is not exactly thrilled with the way that this story has been covered, and he let everybody know it.
It's a sick society, isn't it? It's a sick society. I lived in the public eye for 20 years. I had public relationship. How did that work out? You know, I had people leaking my home information and making up stories that we bought a house together. I had people calling the paparazzi. I had people, posting personal life on the internet. And now, didn't want any of that. Didn't like any of that. And now I'm with somebody who's private, who doesn't want to be in the public eye, didn't sign up to be, a celebrity, doesn't want to be a part of it. And because I do things in private, because I want my personal life to be private, now I'm somehow I'm weird, and now the paparazzi is stalking me on the beach, trying to get a picture of her, stalking me at the workout. What happened to common decency about security and a personal life that we now have to dive into your details of where you live and what you're doing and who you're with and who your wife is and if you even have a wife and if you're doing some sort of attention grabbing thing because my wife is a private person, doesn't have social media, hasn't been a public person, doesn't want to be a public person, but now that's a weird thing.
There you go, Mojo.
I gotta say, Babcock, for anyone that thought he was making this up, trying to get some attention, was that just not the ultimate mic drop right there? I mean, boom, roasted. I mean, Aaron Rodgers coming in hot. Obviously, he dropped some bombs on the Pat McAfee show for sure. He's been doing that one for years. But it's a really good point. I mean, you look at how Aaron Rodgers has kind of been under the microscope, under fire for a lot of different things. For several years now, right? I mean, dating back to his time with the Packers, his comments about wanting to get some help, about wanting to leave, winning all those MVPs, the conversations about Super Bowls. Then you go over to the Jets. Obviously, everything that's happened there, over to the Steelers, ayahuasca, his relationships. I mean, this dude has been under the microscope more than, I don't know, probably any player in the NFL, right? I mean, he's got to be at least right off the top. I'm thinking he's probably number one right now.
Agree.
How does that relate to his relationship? Did that cause issues for the people that he was dating? I mean, with all that media attention, obviously there's tons of positives that come out from that. A lot of that is a gift. But there's some negative too, right? And that comes in the form of a lot of creepers, a lot of stalkers, a lot of weirdos that are trying to wedge into your personal life. And that causes a lot of strain on your significant other, on your relationship. Probably had a hand in maybe some of these relationships ending. I'm not saying it was the number one reason, but it certainly didn't help. So if he's with someone right now that likes to keep her personal life private and fly under the radar, I love that he's sticking to that.
Yeah.
And I love that they've done a great enough job where not one person has any clue what's going on with this relationship, to the point where we're all wondering if this thing is even real in the first place. Fortunately for him, this is going to follow him all through the football season for him and his team. I don't think anyone associated with the Steelers franchise has a leg to stand on if they say that he needs to get ahead of this and, dox his wife so the team can move on. You can't have that conversation with a guy. Personal lives are supposed to stay personal. So I respect that he's doing it. Doesn't mean everyone's not going to keep hunting to find out who it is.
Yeah, Mojo, I don't think that people are going to stop. I agree with a lot of what Aaron Rodgers said. Nobody should be giving his address away. That can be a security risk to him. Nobody should be following him around if he doesn't want it. Now, look, it's a double-edged sword, because it's the interest in him that has made him Aaron Rodgers, that has made him an incredibly wealthy and a famous person, and has given him everything that he has in life. So, it's difficult. Some things that come with fame are not great. A lot of other things are. I will say this, Mojo. Now, his football career is coming to an end here, but he's obviously still a young guy. I mean, he's like 40 years old, right? So he's got a lot of life left to live. By the way, he says, and he said this on his McAfee show appearance today, that this is almost certainly going to be his last year playing football, and that once he is done, Mojo, and he does hang up those pads, that he is not going to be one of these retired athletes like Tom Brady on Fox calling games, Mojo. He is going to fade away, and he says, once I'm done, you're not going to see me anymore. So it seems like that coveted privacy that he wants is just a couple of months away. Got one more football season left, and then go off right into the sunset, Aaron. John Jones allegedly threatens a police officer during that February incident where cops say he left the scene of an accident. The police footage you don't want to miss is coming your way next on TMZ Sports. Welcome back to TMZ Sports. Mike and Mojo. Mojo, we talked about John Jones on the show yesterday. He had a busy weekend. Not only did he retire on Saturday, but we learned that he had actually been charged in Albuquerque, New Mexico for an incident that allegedly happened a couple of months ago. Remember, Mojo, there was a woman who had said that she had been involved in an accident, but she claimed, she was adamant that she was the passenger and that John Jones was actually the driver and that he had fled the scene. Well, Mojo, we have now got the police body camera footage when the Albuquerque, New Mexico cops rolled up to the scene, confronted this woman who, again, told them that John Jones was driving. What does she do, Mojo? She whips out the cell phone, she calls John, and she puts him on the phone with police, and, well, it was a bleep show. Watch this.
She's over here. Oh, she has no pants. She said she has no pants.
No pants. Okay, that's fine. Can we ask what's going on?
Please talk to him. Please talk to him. This is a friend that's a friend of mine.
Hello, who am I speaking to?
What's your last name, first name?
Me is PSA Lopez. And who am I speaking to?
What's your name?
PSA Lopez? With the Albuquerque Police Department?
How many guys you guys I'll do with you?
Don't worry about that, man. Were you the one driving the vehicle?
My brothers attacked the dreams of the sisters and cell phones. He was the one driving the vehicle. They split girls. They're the most evil people you'll ever meet. That's John Jones.
John Jones?
Mm-hmm. He was the one driving the vehicle. But they don't waste their cases with just killing you on petty crimes. But they definitely listen to conversations like this, and some of them are bored enough to kill you. To kill you.
Wow, Mojo. I mean, look, obviously we've heard John Jones speak 100 times. I mean, if you told me that wasn't John, I'd be absolutely shocked. Certainly sounds like him. Whether or not John was driving the car, he says, no, I wasn't even there, Mojo.
I feel like I need a translator for what I just heard. I mean, that conversation went south and got dark in a hurry. As for if he was the driver or not, right now it's a he said, she said. So kind of have to sit and wait and watch how that one develops. Pulling that aside, man, those comments are just extremely dark. Where was he going with that? Why did he take it to that part so quick, so fast? I mean, that conversation was not prompted to go that way. That information was more or less volunteered on his own accord. So you got to wonder why that happened. To some, his retirement came as a shock. To others, not so much. I mean, removing this situation, retiring made sense. We talked about this just yesterday, right? He hadn't fought much recently in years. He went up, he fought Stipe, he won the title. That is an awesome way to close out a legendary career. Some would say is the best of all time. So that's your exclamation point. Fighting Aspinall afterwards, does he really need that for his legacy? No. Does Aspinall need it to jumpstart and save the division? Would Dana like that to pass the torch? Of course he would. If Aspinall won, that is. But as for John Jones, it made sense that he left. But for any that thought maybe he had some left in the tank, he had a little bit more left to prove, regardless of what division that was at. You make parallels to what we're listening to and how dark that conversation went and what's kind of lingering out there in the shadows. And is that a factor for the retirement? It's hard to say. You don't know. I mean, I said yesterday it made sense that he was going to retire even without all of this. So I guess we're going to find out. But again, the question is why? Why did the conversation go this way?
Yeah, Mojo, I think that's a great point. And obviously, I think you pointed out some of the greatness of John Jones. For my money, he is, and there are other worthy candidates out there. I mean, everyone from, George St. Pierre to Demetrius Johnson to Habib. I mean, there are great, great fighters. But for me, John Jones is the best. But it's difficult to talk about John Jones' career without also acknowledging some of the bad things that have happened away from the octagon. Obviously, John has had his fair share of legal problems. Now, for what it's worth here, he says he wasn't driving the car. But, I mean, those comments, they got to make you feel a little bit uncomfortable. And like that was a conversation that just did not need to go the way that it went. We'll see what happens here. John says again he wasn't driving. I don't know how Albuquerque, New Mexico is going to prove that he was, but that was, I agree with you, a really dark, unnecessary conversation. For the 5th year in a row, Tight End University is underway. This year, a special guest. Taylor Swift makes a surprise appearance at TEU when TMZ Sports comes back right after this.
Want to be the first in your group chat to know the hottest Hollywood news like
ASAP Rocky, not guilty. He leapt into the audience.
Insane.
The TMZ Podcast, available wherever you get your podcasts.
For those tight ends that do want to work out in the morning, there's a bus at 8:45 that's going to take you to a workout with Josh. But if you don't care about that, drink a lot of beer tonight. Enjoy yourself, and Travis will cut a promo. Are there IVs? Yes. Are there IVs? Yes. We have IVs. Oh, drink up, boys! Let's go! Don't be afraid to shake some hands, meet everybody. This event is so unique because you get to see everybody outside the face mask, man. So don't be afraid to ask questions, meet everybody, and let's have some fun tonight, baby.
Welcome back to TMZ Sports. Mike and Mojo. Mojo, Tight End U looking a little different this year because they had a little bit of a special guest, Mojo. You might have heard of her before. Taylor Swift was there. Look, there are a bunch of wags, a bunch of wives and girlfriends there, but none more famous than the biggest pop star in the entire planet, Mojo. Of course, again, Taylor Swift was there. Remember, this Tight End U is something that back in 2021, Travis, along with Kittle and Greg Olsen, they started this thing together. It was a way for some of the tight ends from across the NFL, Mojo, to get together and you sort of work on things, hang out, get to know each other, and also refine their skills on the football field. Now they've just got the ladies involved, too.
Yeah, well, I mean, hey, if TEU is the place to go to learn the position, to develop your games, I mean, maybe T Swift came here on her own accord. Maybe Travis didn't have to drag her there. I mean, let's be real. She had to go to all these games this year.
Right.
Maybe she didn't know exactly what was going on. Maybe she did know. Maybe that's why she's going to tight end U to get ready for her comeback to football, or to get ready to jumpstart her own career in football. Maybe she's going to move into the broadcast booth. I don't know. Maybe she's going to be more active because we got enough clips of her watching the game. Now we just got to assimilate her into the game some way to up the ante. So I don't know. I don't think he dragged her there. I think she came on her own accord, Babcock.
Yeah, you know what, Mojo? We have been told from the likes of Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid that she knows football so well that she could literally be drawing up plays. So, yeah, maybe she's out there running the tight ends around in drills and stuff, Mojo. She's apparently great at everything that she does. I would never put anything past Taylor Swift. It's got to be exciting, Mojo, all kidding aside, for the rest of the wives and the girlfriends who are out there with their guys to be able to hang out and to be around Taylor Swift. I mean, I think that's probably the dream of a lot of Taylor Swift fans out there, and they get to do it in an intimate setting with her. So very cool, and again, an absolutely awesome thing for everybody that was part of Tight End U. Football season is going to be here soon, Mojo. We've obviously already had mini camp. Training camp's going to be here before you know it. Obviously, we're already into the summer here now. So football is close. I cannot wait for that. We'll have a bunch to talk about. We are out of time. Nothing left to talk about today, though. We got a bunch to discuss tomorrow, Mojo. It's going to be a great show.
That's right, Babcock. It'll be the best show since today.
I'm a lawyer.